Hey guys, I have a quick announcement. I'm telling you, this episode is phenomenal. I can't wait for you to listen to it. Remember that we recorded this way before the NFL draft. However, I had to record it in an open area, so you may hear some ambient sounds. It may sound a little different. I apologize for that. However, it never takes away from the powerful content and the enjoyment of this episode. Take a listen. Hey, what up, guys? Welcome to the Do Work Podcast. I am your host, Andy Dooley, aka Mr. Do Work. And if this is your first time here, this is where we have conversations with highly successful people in their sphere of influence. You will hear inspirational stories that can help motivate and inspire you to step out of your acceptable to exceptional. You will learn about the turning points when it all changed for them to truly commit and focus on attaining their goals. Guys, I am super excited to have this guest on here. His name is Colby Parkinson. I've had the privilege and honor to be on the coaching staff at Oaks Christian.
Yes, sir.
To see him in his beginning days. At right now is incredible. He's an Oaks Christian graduate, 5-star recruit by 247 Sports and Prep Star, a USA Today High School All-American in 2016, played in the U.S. Army All-American Bowl game, and then ended up choosing to go to Stanford and became a Stanford standout. This guy became second team All Pac-12, played in the 2018 Sun Bowl game. And bro, you are 6'7", 252 now?
Yes, sir. A little different than high school, huh?
Oh my goodness, yeah. There's a whole lot different with you, bro. I mean, your hair is grown out.
Yeah, I grew my hair out.
Tell me about that. What made you grow your hair out?
I kind of just did it off a whim, honestly. I got to college and hadn't cut it in a while, and someone mentioned that I should grow it out. So I literally just got my first haircut since going to college a couple weeks ago.
Oh, no way.
And I just trimmed it down. Don't worry. It's not
okay, because it gives you a savage look, bro.
Yeah, I like it. I like the look, too. I appreciate it.
Okay, in high school, I remember when I was coaching the RBs.
Yep.
And you're playing tight end. How tall were you then?
I was probably 6'6", 6'5".
Okay, yeah, I was gonna say you were about 6'5", 6'6".
Yeah.
You were always tall because you played basketball as well.
Yep, played basketball as well.
You making the choice to go with football.
Right.
What was behind that? Is football your favorite between the two? You just felt like you had a better chance to go further? What was your decision with that?
Yeah, so I just played baseball as well. So I had 3 sports, and I just always loved football. Grew up playing baseball, loved that sport as well, and played basketball in high school, as you said. But, I mean, football, it's a different mentality in football, you know. And it's a
Absolutely.
Different team aspect, right? It's all 11 or none versus basketball. You can, take over a game, and baseball, you can be that one strong hitter. But I think just the overall mentality that goes into a strong football team was something that drew me to it. And, being successful at the high school level was definitely a big draw as well to be able to further my education using the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously you had a ton of schools interested in you. You were highly recruited. What made you choose Stanford? I mean, that is a prestigious school to go to.
Yeah, so it was pretty easy for me, honestly. I was always very academically inclined, took my academics very seriously, and wanted to study civil engineering. And
wow.
There was not many schools that would allow you to study whatever you wanted, especially not a school that is as academic as Stanford. So to be able to go there and major in whatever I wanted, which was civil engineering, and then also, I mean, the football, goes without saying, being one of the top teams in the Pac-12, and the way they use their tight ends was a big draw for me as well.
Yeah, you said something really huge where you talked about the fact that they let you study anything you wanted to study. Yep. And I understand exactly what you're talking about because I went through that exact same thing. When I went to Miami of Ohio,
yep.
I wanted to do architecture.
Right.
However, with schooling, a lot of the classes were at nighttime. It wasn't really conducive to a football player.
Yeah.
And so there's certain majors that aren't quite conducive to the the demands of a football player in college, a D1 athlete. So it kind of puts you in a different category and makes you choose between a different offset of majors.
Right.
With some athletes, they go to school with the mindset of, well, I'm going to go to the NFL, I'm going to go to the pro, not realizing how small that really is.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, you got to have that backup plan, right?
Absolutely. So if you weren't, because we'll get to the NFL Combine and stuff like that, but if you weren't pursuing that, what would you be doing right now?
Yeah, so I decided to leave school early, so I'd be still in school for sure.
Right.
Finishing up my degree and working towards becoming a structural engineer. I mean, that's what I was studying, and something that I'm passionate about. My brother's a structural engineer as well, and we always talk about wanting to start a firm together. So I'm sure that we would be talking about that even more seriously and trying to get that going.
That's amazing, bro. I think it's great to hear this aspect of it, because you have so many young athletes, right, looking to go to the next level in college. And I think the message here for us to let them know is that they need to really take their academics, their scholastics serious, not just to get by, but to really try to excel and be just as good as you are on the field in the classroom.
Yep, absolutely, man.
And I think you are a perfect, I don't want to say perfect, but I just want to say you're a good example to show to young athletes and even college athletes right now that they should have their priorities straight.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the biggest things for me about coming out early was making sure I would be able to come back and get my degree. So
I was just going to ask you that. That is awesome.
That's the first thing I asked. I talked to my academic advisors. I talked to some people in the operations office for football, and knowing that I'll have that provided for me, that tuition handled to be able to come back, whether through the NFL or through Stanford, was one of the main reasons that I left early. If that wasn't the case, then I honestly probably would have stayed to make sure that I could get my degree.
Man, that's so powerful. One of the things that I think I like the most about you is that from high school to this very moment, you're the same guy.
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
I would call you a humble beast.
That's the goal.
Yeah, I think I'm going to just tell people I'm just going to coin it right now, that you're a humble beast.
I like it.
Don't get it twisted. This guy will take your head off and go over the top and moss you.
Yep.
He's not going to let the fame or success get to his head. I love that you've made it very known without it in a preachy way, but you've kept God first in your life. And tell me about that. Because obviously in this world today, it's so liberal, and what makes you keep your faith? What makes you say, you know what, regardless of what anyone else have to say, I'm going to make sure that Jesus Christ is the center of my life?
Yeah, so a lot of times people will say that everyone's faith is their parents' faith, right? And just because the way I was raised is the reason for the way I live now. And yes, that's a start, but I mean, just my own personal experiences, I've had some pretty profound experiences. I was lucky enough to be able to go to Ukraine twice on missions trips, and just experiencing the love of God across international borders is something that everyone should truly experience. I mean, it's such an amazing thing. And then just the sense of peace that comes with it. I mean, you know how stressful the combine can be, right? And how
absolutely
and all that. But honestly, I had fun the entire time. And I attribute that to nothing more than the Holy Spirit inside of me. Just giving me that sense of peace and knowing that, hey, God's got me no matter what, right? No matter where I am, no matter how well I do, no matter even if I play down to football in the NFL, God's got me. He's got a plan for my life. And as long as I'm putting him first, then that doesn't mean that everything's going to go right in my mind, but that means that it's going to go right in God's plan, right? And that's what really matters, because that's where that sense of peace comes from. And that's what allows you to live freely, and not have so much worry and really just enjoy everything that's going on, because I am very blessed. I am lucky enough to be able to have some of these great experiences, and to be bogged down with
Mm-hmm.
worry and all these other anxieties and stresses it would just waste the opportunity. So just that sense of peace is such an amazing thing and such an amazing feeling to have.
Yeah, that's beautiful, man. And would you even say going through the process, obviously you're working out with different guys. Did you see firsthand the
Oh,
stresses? Like
absolutely.
what was that like? What did you see happening?
Yeah, I mean, there's guys like so the combine you see it on TV, but we're there for about 3 or 4 days beforehand too, doing interviews and whatnot. And I mean, there's just so much stress going on about, oh well, I didn't get this interview, or this team didn't talk to me,
Mm,
and stuff like that. And it's so nice to be able to sit back and be like, it's okay. Like I'm gonna do my part. I'm gonna be all in 100%. But at the same time, I know who's got me, and I know who's the coach I'm really trying to impress, and that's God, right? So
come on,
audience of
yeah, that's
one,
great.
absolutely.
That's audience one. That's right. Uh, Isaiah 25:1. Oh Lord, you are my God. I will exalt you. I will praise your name, for you have done wonderful things. Plans formed of old, faithful and sure. That's the scripture you had tweeted
Yep.
out. What made you choose that scripture in particular?
Yeah. So that was when I decided to declare. Yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's so important. I mean that there's always going to be criticism about decisions you make, and especially in the sports world, you're in the spotlight a little more, and just having that be my reason. Like God's got me. Like this is God's plan, and that's truly what I felt, and that's what I still feel is. It was the right time for me to come out and right time for me to declare for the NFL. I spent about 3 weeks after season really talking to my parents, my brother, my sister, my girlfriend. But even more so
Yeah.
than that, I spent time in prayer, probably more so than I
Oh,
have ever. Um, and
yeah.
I got this weird peaceful feeling. This was such a big decision. I loved my time at Stanford, and I loved the
Mm-hmm.
experience, and was I really wanted to go back for another year. But at the same time, I had this great opportunity in front of me, and I just got this sense of peace about leaving. And there's no other way to describe it than the Holy Spirit. So I think that verse really applies here, because having those plans of old, as it says, right? So I felt like I
Mm-hmm.
fit into God's plan, and just trying to live my life following that, especially after having that peaceful experience going through this whole process of the combine and pro day and the draft and into my rookie year. Just having that sense of peace is going to be so important for me.
That's so good, bro. And one of those things I think for you is obviously we have choices. You can either have God's perfect will or his permissible.
Right.
And from the likes of it, from what it sounds like, you want your God's perfect will on your
Hmm.
life. And so hearing that you took it to prayer before you made that decision over everything. Obviously, it's glamorous and a sexy decision to other people on the
Right.
outside. We know on the inside what all goes into
Yep.
that. But then you also have to worry about the people on the outside, new people wanting to connect themselves or cling on to you. How do you deal with that right now? Because obviously you have your tight knit
Yep.
circle and people. How do you know who to let in, who to keep a bay? Keep them as associates. How do you? Because this is going to be a very tough season regarding that right
Yeah,
now.
absolutely. I think it's not as hard as it may seem. I mean, I'm not as like you know top 10 pick. These guys getting crazy types of money and stuff like that. But there's definitely
Right.
been people that have reached out that I haven't spoke to in a very long time, and stuff like that. And you just take it with a grain of salt. But
Absolutely.
I never want to assume the worst about people. I think that a lot of the time people can just be genuinely excited for me and want to say hey and stuff like that. So I have a good head on my shoulders due to my parents and the way I was raised and my faith, and
Yeah.
I think just it's not as difficult as it may seem to tell what someone's intentions are, and I've got a good good group of close friends and longtime girlfriends. So luckily, I'm good on that front.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. You guys have been together since high school,
Yeah,
right?
so she went to Westlake High, our rival.
Wow, you did that, didn't you?
But we were beating them pretty handily, so it was okay.
Yeah, that's true. Because if she was coming back at you talking trash, that'd have been a little rough.
That might have been a little more difficult.
So I just want to take it back to college a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you registered that 8-yard touchdown pass, Mills at Oregon State, becoming the first Stanford non-QB. Since Christian McCaffrey, because he did the same thing. Take me through that.
Yeah, so I had been calling for that play forever. You might have even seen me throw. I've been playing baseball my whole life, so I have a pretty strong arm.
Totally, yeah.
And I always was nagging the coaches about putting that play in, and then we've had it up for a couple of weeks, never got to calling it, and then we called it. And I was so nervous. You have no idea. we called the play, and I'm like, oh, crap, I have to throw the ball. And I had been raining a little bit, and I was pretty nervous, but I let it fly, and our quarterback Davis went up and made a great play, thankfully, and ended up scoring a touchdown. But, man, that ball left my hand, and I swear defenders appeared out of nowhere that I did not see.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I always say I wish I could play quarterback, but then I let that ball go and people appeared. So maybe I'll let them do that.
Maybe they'll give you another chance to try to do it again in the NFL.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Heck yeah. So now also I want you to take me through this, okay? So you had against Oregon State November 10th, right? You had 6 catches for 166 yards and 4 touchdowns. Sure. What was that like on the big stage, bro?
It felt just natural, right? I mean, it wasn't like it didn't feel out of like body or any type of unordinary experience, but it just felt like it was clicking that night, and it was great. I think I had a different defender on me each time, which was pretty funny, just trying to switch it up. But no, it was great. Just kept working me, and in the first half, I had 4 touchdowns, which is great. I was hoping to keep that average going and get up to 8, but I guess 4 will do.
I mean, you know what was crazy to me, because you played in all the games your freshman year, right? And I remember seeing you in the game, and I was just like, wow, he just came out like you're just already ready for the stage and you was a freshman.
Yeah.
And what gave you the confidence? Because obviously you know how it is coming in as a freshman. You go from being a star in high school, then you get to college, and then you get tested, and then you're given opportunities. Some guys step up to the plate when their name is called, and some don't. And a lot of the things that I like to try to go by is stay ready so you don't have to get ready.
Absolutely.
And that's what it looked like with you, that you were ready for the play as a freshman. And what gave you that confidence?
Yeah, so I came into summer training not really expecting to play, but like you said, preparing as if I was going to. So my biggest, I think one of the biggest reasons why I was able to play as a freshman and as much as I did was my knowledge of the playbook. So I came into the year learning every single receiver position. So YZXF, we call it. And I knew each one of them. I knew what they were doing each play. So making myself available to be used in that way, I think allowed myself to get on the field. And then in terms of confidence, I mean, football is football, right? Like,
absolutely.
The stage gets bigger, the people get better that you're going against, but football is still football. And even at the combine last week, just like going through the drills, you could tell some people were nervous, and that's natural. I mean, I had a little bit of nerves as well, but I just kept telling myself, like, this is football. Like, I've been catching a ball since I was 6 years old. Like, I can run this route. I know I can make this catch, and I think that's the same idea that helped me out in my freshman year. Just not overhyping the moment, but just
Yeah.
playing football and enjoying it. Because if you're not enjoying it, then you stress yourself out and it makes everything else worse.
And I think if people don't play football for the right reasons, that's how they get hurt.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree.
Is you have to understand there's some people have the love for the game, and then some people have the love for, the opportunities that it provides,
Yeah.
obviously finances and fame. But if you have a love for the game, that really changes the game for you mentally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you're going into the game putting pressure on yourself, saying, "Oh, this is my last high school game, and if I do well, I'm going to get that USC offer or whatever." I mean, you're going to put so much pressure on yourself instead of saying, "Hey, I'm going to go out there. This is a great opportunity to have some fun with my friends and do what I've been training to do for my whole life." And it's nothing more than that.
Yeah. Speaking of USC, how was it playing against one of your teammates? Obviously, I came to one of you guys' games where you guys. I purposely wanted to see both of you play, and it was just crazy I was so torn. Like, I want you to do well, and I want Pittman to do well. Well, and you guys saw each other throughout your career. What was that like?
I mean, it's awesome. It's always fun seeing Pitt. We snapped a picture of us together at the Combine last week. We're always rooting for each other, hoping each other are doing well. So it's fun. It would be different if he was on defense. That would make it a little more interesting.
Oh, that's true. That
would make it a little more interesting for sure. But I always hope he does well, but not too well when he's playing Stanford.
Yeah. So, as a child, who was your favorite NFL team?
I mean, I grew up watching the Chargers a lot. My mom's side of the family is from San Diego, so grew up watching Antonio Gates, Danny Tomlinson.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, you'll be, ecstatic to whatever team chooses you on that day. If there's a team that chose you, which one would it be that would just make you run around the house?
I think I'll be running around the house regardless. But anything West Coast, then my family would be running around the house too.
Absolutely.
Yeah, to see them.
I'm hoping, like I told you, I'm hoping you come out here to Seattle.
Hey, man, I would be all right with that. Play under Greg Olson and learn from him for a year. That'd be
exactly.
That'd be great. I used to live in Seattle too, so that area was awesome.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was born in San Ramon, which is Northern California, and then moved up to Bellevue for a couple of years before I settled down in Southern California.
Oh, wow. I didn't know that. Yeah. So, with all the talk out there, how are you feeling about the projections? Because obviously, projections are projections, and the NFL and the owners, they all switch up at random times. How are you feeling? I know you'll be happy about wherever you go, but are you kind of shocked where you're at in projections, or are you just like, you know what? Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not. I mean, they're a little lower than I would have hoped, but I'm not terribly surprised. Not because of my lack of belief, but because of last season we struggled a lot offensively. Didn't really have that high of a statistical year, and when a team doesn't do too well, not many people are going to watch. So it makes sense. I'm not too concerned about where I get drafted. I'm just excited to get in the league and show people what I'm all about. Yeah,
I think that's the great mindset to have going into it. You have listeners here, and they probably hear from you right now, and they're looking at you like, man, he has it great. It's just been nothing but a breeze for him. Can you tell them, one hard moment that actually kind of really turned a switch on? Basically, that feeling of, man, this is that moment where it's do or die. I need to change this up, or I need to make this change, or I need to get rid of certain people out of my life that will help me focus. What was that moment for you that really focused you in to really get on a path that you're on right now?
Yeah, I mean, there hasn't been, as I've said, I've been very, very blessed to be raised the way I was raised. and it kind of always had the same head on my shoulders. But one example of something that kind of defined my life, not necessarily changed it, but reaffirmed some things about my faith was, I'm not sure if you were at Oaks at this time, but you remember Brandon LeBrie?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So his mom was a nurse down at UCLA hospital, and we got close to his family, the Bodden family, and this little kid who was about 8 or 9 years old, and he came out to a bunch of the football games. We got really close with him. He ended up passing away.
Oh, yes, that's right.
So he had a multitude of health issues, and super sad. Ended up passing away, but just learning from that, the value of life and the way he approached every day. He was the happiest kid. He was always talking about football, and even at such a young age, you could tell he had a strong faith. And just going through life with, I wear this wristband every day. It says Luke Strong, and just going through life with that perspective, I would say, gave me
so good.
This understanding that life is precious, and we all have a role to play here, and God's given us a plan for each of our lives, and I think Luke lived that out to the fullest, and just being that happy kid that was always talking about ball and putting a smile on people's face. And I think, my role, just having this amazing platform to reach as many people as I can, and show people that there is an ability to have faith and play football, right? There's always that stigma that to be a football player, like, you can't be the nerdy faith guy, but no, there's room for it, and
absolutely,
and to live life after that, and having that perspective is one of the biggest things, because that was one of the hardest things I've gone through, losing him, being a pallbearer at the funeral.
Oh man,
yeah. So all good things came from it. We still talk to the family, still close with them, and just trying to continue to spread his legacy.
So good. So I'm gonna shift gears, and I'm gonna ask you like 5 popcorn questions.
Okay.
And you just respond to it. Okay. PS4 or Xbox?
Xbox.
Oh, he said that fast.
Oh yeah.
Why Xbox?
We had an Xbox 360 growing up, so I haven't switched over.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. So Jordan or LeBron?
I got to go LeBron. It's tough for people in my generation to go away from LeBron.
Absolutely. All right. Favorite all-time sneaker?
All-time sneaker. I'm not that big of a sneakerhead like you. I know you got your kicks, but
oh yeah, of course.
If I could have one, I don't have any, but the Jordan 11s are my favorite pair. I'll get some at some point.
Okay, you know what? Those are my favorite too.
Really? There we go.
The Concord. Yeah. Anyone who knows me knows the Concord 11s are my absolute favorite.
There we go.
And they always come out around my birthday, like in December.
Oh, so it's a good excuse.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great.
I tell the wife, like, babe, it's my birthday.
They did it for you.
Yeah, that's right. Favorite food?
Chicken Parmesan.
Oh, that's bomb.
Mm-hmm.
That's bomb. Okay. What's your favorite genre of music?
I like acoustic and like alternative music.
Nice.
Yeah, so kind of like people call it hippie music, but I don't say it's hippie.
Yeah. What would say your favorite band or artist?
The Lumineers.
Okay. Okay. What is your favorite quote right now? Or scripture?
Favorite quote?
We're not going to say scripture. We already talked about that. Your favorite quote?
Favorite quote?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good question.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna have to get back to you on that, because there's so many that are floating in my head from different. We call them performance newses at Stanford, and we have a lot of great quotes about leadership and pushing through and whatnot. So I'll have to get back to you on that one.
Okay. All right. I have one. Favorite TV show?
Favorite TV show? We're watching. Me and my buddy are watching through Friday Night Lights right now.
Oh gosh, that's a classic.
Yeah, I'm really liking it. This is my first time watching it, so.
Oh my gosh, that's such a classic.
It's been real good so far.
Right now, I'm watching Suits.
Suits. I watched that a little bit when I was younger. That's a great show.
I love that
Yeah,
show.
I wish I could be that guy with that brain of his.
Oh, Mike
Yeah,
Ross.
just remember everything.
I know. Hey, why did why do I pray every morning asking God to give me that type of brain?
Yeah, I know.
I'm like, why not?
Yeah, there's a chance, I guess.
Hey, you never know. I may wake up and be able to look at anything and everything and have it stuck to my brain.
Unfortunately, I don't know if I want to remember everything.
Oh, that's a good point.
So we're the lucky ones, right?
Yes, we are. We are. All right. What are 3 people that inspire you? Now, you can give me 3 that are outside of Instagram, and 3 that people should go look at their Instagram, because those are Instagrams that you maybe frequently check because they inspire you in some form or fashion.
Yeah, so non-Instagram, my dad, my brother, and I have this mentor of mine. His name's JD from back home. Always go to those guys for advice if need be, whether it be faith talks or anything like that. They're always there for me. And then Instagram-wise, I know The Rock has a lot of good stuff that he puts out.
He does.
I enjoy looking at. I mean, your stuff's pretty great too, man. Have him check out yours.
Thank you, bro. I appreciate that.
I love listening to your stuff. So I'll go with 2. I'll go with 2 for Instagram.
Oh man, in the company of The Rock, bro. That's an honor. Thank you.
I'll put you at number 1.
Oh, bro, stop it. But man, I just wanted to tell you thank you so much, and that I'm super proud of you, like I've mentioned before. But it's just been really cool being able to watch you go from high school through college, and then now this new chapter that you're embarking on. And just know that I'm rooting for you. I'm praying for you, and I just want the best for you. And I just think if you keep that same mindset of, going after God's heart, being a man after God's heart, and also wanting his perfect will. And I would even say this: every morning I wake up, and there's 2 things that I do pray for consistently is for God to order my steps. Every morning, order my steps, so I don't take any missteps, or I don't have to go around the mountain or go out of order, where I could have just, if I just was synced up with God, I would just take each step that's ordered by him. And then the other one, which I, pray for you, is favor. Joseph type favor with man, favor with anyone that you come in contact with. Family has favor. And so I'm just believing that for you. I'm believing even in this new season, in this new chapter in your life, that you're going to have favor in the league. And it's going to surpass just football. It's going to be just teammates, just how you communicate with people, your actions, because people can talk a big game, but their actions speak, right?
Absolutely.
And so I really believe your actions are going to far exceed, even where you're at right now. And the impact that you're going to have on the NFL is going to be powerful. And so I'm going to be looking on that day. Will you stay home and wait for the call, or what will you do?
You know me. I'll be low key somewhere with my family and
Absolutely
a couple close friends, but just relaxing a little bit beforehand.
Well, just know I'll be watching, and I'll give you that call and congratulate you wherever you end up. But just know I'm praying for Seattle.
All right, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on, man. Hello, this is Colby.
Hey, Colby, John Schneider, GM for the Seattle Seahawks, bud.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great.
Good. You want to come play with Russell Wilson, my man?
Yes, sir. Absolutely.
Awesome. Hey, we're gonna select you right here, okay?
Awesome. Yes, sir.
The pick number is 133 in the 4th round, my man.
Awesome. I really appreciate it.
Hey, congratulations to you. We're gonna have Coach Carroll call you in a couple minutes.
Yes, sir.
And then we'll get and then the other coaches will give you a call. But congratulations, my man.
All right, thank you very much.
Love watching you play, man. You're a blast.
All right, I appreciate it.
Okay, congrats.
Thank you very much.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye.
What we need to get going here. Meanwhile, stop me if you've heard this. A tight end from Stanford has been drafted. Colby Parkinson becomes the latest, the 7th tight end from Stanford to be selected in the draft since 2012. He goes to Seattle. Only one drop on the year for Colby Parkinson.
Yeah, Colby Parkinson is a tall drink of water when you watch him go down the field. He showed up at Stanford at 220 pounds, and David Shaw was planning on redshirting him, but he was too valuable down in the red area. They could just throw these jump ball fades up to him, and he was able to produce points. He's going to need to add some strength as an inline blocker, but what you see right here is his ability to be on the outside, go up and catch the ball over defenders, especially down in the red zone, and he can run a little bit down the seam. So a little bit of a project here as a pick, but you can't coach that size and you can't coach those ball skills.
Well, listen, we may need a tight end flow-off between Colby Parkinson and Dalton Keene because the mains are strong for both of these players. The hair is exceptional for both of those tight ends, and they are both off the board. Again, another tight end out of Stanford, drafted into the NFL, going to Pete Carroll, the head coach, and John Schneider, the general manager.
Of course. Where can they find your Instagram or anything else that you want us to check you out on?
So Instagram is just at Colby Parkinson.
Okay.
Twitter is at CJ51.
Awesome. Well, thanks again, bro. We'll stay in touch and talk soon.
All right, brother. Appreciate it.
All right. Talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye. All right. That is it for today. We all know the major impact happens after the show. It's what you do with the information and how you apply these gems. So come find me on Instagram at Andy L. Dooley, ANDYLDOOLEY, and let me know your thoughts about today's show. Also, please leave a 5-star rating and a comment. That helps boost the podcast. I'm going to start reading some of your comments on the show at the beginning of each one. Take a screenshot as well of you listening and post on your Insta story, and I'll repost it or read some of the comments on air as well. Hey, I look forward to seeing you again. Talk to you very soon.